Alright, welcome back to the Cove, where I was gone for 4 days in St. Louis on a trip that was good and bad, and now am in my own room for about a week or two. Was in my own room for a week or two, watching someone from China or somewhere else play Red Dead 2, and this shit is weird. I know, weird introduction to a story, but yeah. Um, yeah, new what if, even though I'm trying not to do new ones. This is what I've been thinking about. I really don't want to do this shit now, because I recorded it once. But here's the thing. It was so. Here's the thing. I recorded it once, like, a couple minutes ago, and it was like 18 minutes long, and because of how unorganized the shit was, I decided to get rid of it. Because I was playing a game while I was doing a what if, which I don't ever recommend doing, unless you can keep on topic while doing it. And as such, I decided to get rid of it, and which was a good sign. So yeah, I decided to change a few things. This is what if Deku was Erron Black, or a gunslinger, basically my hero. Now, mind you, I can see why the fuck no one has done this shit. Because I tried to record this twice now, and this shit is hard to fucking do. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This shit is stupid hard. Because it's hard to scale him. Like, not scaling him, it's just hard to do it, period. Because you think about it, you got Erron Black, who's only known for his gunslinging skills, and how accurate he is. But I'm gonna do this because I feel like I can do it if I do it the right way, which I know I can. And as such, I will do it. So I'm gonna I'm gonna keep the one thing. Deku was born in New York, so he's like natural. He has his natural first language is English. But I'm gonna say around the age of 10, he moved to Japan for many circumstances. I'm not gonna explain them because his dad used to be a hero in New York, but as I said, through circumstances, which is really convenient for Deku, he had to move to Japan, basically due to like his injury, like his dad's injury. So as such, he instead of like trying to keep active with the injury, like because think about it, he blew out his knee and tore his ACL because of a mishap. So why would you try and stay doing your job like that and under like yourself being extremely hurt when all you have to do basically is like go to a different country and you can do the same thing pretty much. Just easier for you because of all the abundance of heroes. So he's more of a support hero now, with him being able to back up his thing with gunfire. So I'm gonna get to explaining Deku quirk, which is a mixture of two. I'm gonna say his first quirk is the ability to, summon Western guns and Western type things. Like he can't. I mean, he can summon like the shotguns and stuff, like the double barrel, the sawed off, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna say like he can. It's just he won't do it because it's not as easy as you think to do shit like that. Plus hit. So like how do I say this? He gets two regular Western revolvers and everything. He still has to reload them, but it's like what I'm trying to say. He can basically summon Western type weapons. Now the second part of his quirk is basically his mother's side, which is just enhanced like senses. But here's the thing: the downside of that is he feels more emotion when he's using like more of that quirk, because that quirk is always going. So it's like he's always have better hearing, sight, and all that, and smell. But when he really focuses in on it, his emotions more kick in. So if he's in anger when he's doing, he goes from angry to livid. When he's in sad, he goes from like a little bit of like in a like, oh, that's fucked up mood to bawling his like crybaby deku mood, which is basically like bawling his eyes out. Which which isn't really that bad. So I'm gonna say for 3 years, like, because he can't practice. You can't practice with guns, and so like you can't practice with guns basically. I mean, you can, but I don't recommend it, especially for the people who've actually gone through it, including myself. You don't practice with the shit until you're old. Like until you feel like you can handle, like until your parents feel like you can handle it. So I'm gonna say at the age of 13, he starts practicing, which with the name Django, like his name is Django. Like his father's name is Django as well, even though the picture shows Aaron Black. I'm so fucking sorry. But I'm not gonna show a picture. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that real quick. No, matter of fact, never mind. I don't want to get copyrighted to hell. Because there's a picture of Jamie Foxx. So, how do I do this? At the age of 13, he starts practicing with the revolvers. Say he's not perfect. So, upon starting with it, like his first shot, he tries to get calm, but he's more anxious. So as such, his first shot is all over the place, and he drops his pistol. In which his dad isn't mad at him. He just looks at him. He just looks at him like how do I explain this? He looks at him like basically checking to see if he's good, and he tells him that, for a first time shooting, I'm surprised you're able to fire the gun. Period. Which, if you think about it, is kind of like a good first step for Deku. Which people would say like, oh, he's weak for that. But if you think about it, it's a good first step, because for many, like firing a gun like that first. Plus, it's like there's no thing for it to where it's like it compresses the sound, it silences it. There's nothing like that. So it's just that gun with you have to deal with everything about the gun. It's recoil and everything. So when he fires it, like as I said, the bounce and him being able to control it. So I'm gonna say, like after that, he practices some more and he hits the targets once out of 6 shots in his first attempt. And his dad is actually surprised that he hit even 1 shot, and Deku's happy about the fact that he hit 1 shot, and he continues to practice. Mind you, how his practice goes is he practices shooting the gun first before anything else. And he's at a firing range, so because you can't just practice in your backyard with something that fucking loud. And what the fuck is she doing? She put out a sawed-off in the first fucking mission. What the fuck is this shit? Oh, I forgot she's not from America. So, yeah. What else is there? Oh, yeah. Basically, like, he doesn't practice with the shotguns and shit, because if you can barely control a revolver, I don't recommend you pulled out a fucking shotgun. And mind you, even I have held a shotgun. You don't pull, like, that's something you don't start with. At all. Like, because that kick on that thing will fuck you up if you aren't prepared for it. But, yeah, I'm gonna basically continue. Because I hope this shit isn't mute. Oh, it isn't. Oh, thank God. But, yeah. Even if I'm not tired, I still fucking yawn. I took a 5. I'm probably gonna go to sleep after this. Fuck it. I'm not in the mood to deal with shit no more. So, he practiced with the revolvers. Like, he practiced aiming with it for about 3 months until he gets to the point where he's hitting 4 out of 6 shots, 3 out of 6 shots at a steady rate. And as such, his dad basically telling him like, you're getting better, but you're still not hitting all 6 shots, which is a good thing. I mean, which isn't a good thing. And when he explained to Deku, like, you should be able to hit all 6 shots while standing still, because then his dad summons his and does it from the hip, basically, and he hits all his 6 shots in the chest and says, I can do the same thing in the head, I just choose not to. Are you fucking stupid? Pull out your nut. Alright. I'm not even gonna say anything anymore because there's no point. I don't understand this fucking language, period. It's in English, but it's subtitled in whatever language this is. It's not. That might be Japanese. No, I don't think it is. Actually, that might be. It don't fucking matter either way. But yeah, this is, and he basically shows Deku like he can hit all 6 shots in the chest with little effort, and he said that's from like me practicing for many years. You, however, have been practicing for 3 months, can only hit like 3 or 4, which I'm not really surprised, but at the same time, it needs to improve a little bit. So I don't know how you're gonna do it, but that's exactly what you get. That's exactly what you. Oh shit. Never mind. Let me shut my fucking mouth. Turn that shit down. So I'm gonna say while he's practicing, he's practicing, but his dad recommends that he starts using his mother's quirk more. And before you ask, no, his mother is not with him, because that's one of the reasons why he left New York, is because of shit like that. And everyone targeting his fucking family. Damn, she fucking died in the first mission. But, yeah. How do I say this? Many reasons he left New York, that's one of them. So I'm fucking tired for this shit. Allow me to do it. That's one of the reasons why he left New York as well. And okay, I thought you were about to miss that shot. But yeah, upon taking Deku to Japan, he realizes that it's a new start, and he still has his hero license from New York, so all he did was just transfer over. So Deku doesn't look up to All Might or any of that, but he does, however, look up to a lot of Western movies, like Django Unchained and all that. So, as such, he likes the movie, he likes those movies basically, and he starts practicing how like they do, after following his dad's advice. And I'm gonna say for another 3 months he practices like that. So now he's consistently hitting like 5 out of 6 shots and 6 shots on half occasions. And his dad basically compliments him like that, like, yeah, that's pretty good. So now we'll practice shooting from the hip or from holster, depending on how you want to do it. And when he says that is that he basically shows exactly what he means. Like, he puts the gun in his holster and says you can you don't always have to summon it on the spot. I save it for later. And his dad quickly they had it on a timer, so basically light flash green, he pull it out and fire once. So it was mainly a reaction time thing, and as such, he basically told Deku, like, when you do this, I recommend you actually aim from the hip first before you actually start trying to do this. And upon doing that, he pulls his pistol out in not even a fraction of a second, and one shot hits hits a mannequin in the head. And Deku looks in amazement of that, and his dad basically tells him, like, yeah, Like, you should practice first before you try to do stuff like that. And as such, Deku practices shooting from the hip now, and he says it's not the easiest thing to do, due to the fact that, you know what I mean, like, he's shooting from the hip, he's not using the sights. So, for the rest of the time, he practices quick draw and aiming from the hip to make his job easier. And yes, he's using actual fucking bullets. Because you don't train with the light shit and then go into the heavy shit. His dad basically said, you train with the heavy shit, but when you're with people, you go with the light shit. Basically, they think about it. It's like, remember Rock Lee's training where he's fighting with the weights on, and then he takes them off when he's when he needs to. It's kind of like that, basically. It's like that. So for the remainder of the 6 months, he practiced on that. To which it does pay off a lot, because as stated, he a lot better being able to hit 4 out of 5 shots from the hip, and his reaction time being a fraction of a second in firing, which is pretty good, but not as good as his dad, because his dad's is 0.05 almost, when it comes to doing it. So as such, he's a lot slower than his dad's, but he's still pretty accurate. And as such, his dad even commented on him that, the fuck are you stupid? Never mind, I forget she's from a different country, where shotguns don't go over fucking 50 meters. She's shooting a shotgun in the first mission when someone's a good 50 yards away. That isn't possible. The game is giving her the benefit of the doubt and letting her kill them. But yeah, I'm gonna continue because I'm getting more and more I'm putting it on just so I can be okay, let's see how other people around the world play. But I realize she's fucking clueless. And I should have guessed that, not because she's a woman, because of the fact that she's in a different fucking country. But yeah, I bet you. Wait, no. Before I continue, I'm going off a little rant here. Bet you she looked at the damage instead of the fucking range. And she thinks, oh, I can just use the fucking rifle for everything. No! You use a pistol, even in Red Dead Online. I always have a sawed-off on my offhand, just for the fact that if someone run up on me, I switch to it that fast. I always have a revolver on me because of the fact I know I'm gonna have to run and gun half the time. You don't always fucking count on a fucking rifle, because there's lots of situations where you don't get the leverage of using a fucking rifle. You have to use your fucking pistol or a fucking shotgun in most of the situations, because you don't get that you don't get the chance to be oh shit, and pull out your freaking rifle. No, you have your fucking pistol. You always be prepared for a fight, so you always carry a shotgun maybe and a revolver. And I just exposed my secret of why it's hard for me to lose gunfights in Red Dead unless I'm getting jumped. So yeah, that's funny as hell. She just got fucking shook by someone who ran up on her. But yeah, that was my little rant. I'm gonna continue. So in that time period, he practiced on quick draw, and damn, I forgot this nigga. Oh no, I forgot he is 13 in this. And I'm gonna say, the day he turns 14, his dad basically tells him, you're pretty good practicing, but I signed you up for basically the UA entrance exam. And yes, he is homeschooled, so Deku doesn't really know about the high schools, because, he's practicing more on his shooting and paying attention to getting better. And his dad explained, it's a hero school very known in Japan. And as such, I think it would be good for you to go to it. And Deku says okay to it because, he trusts his dad's word. And as such, like, he doesn't take the entrance exam because his dad basically, like, shows Nezu over the years of what Deku has done, like, what Deku's quirk is, and Nezu knows his dad, so he gets a recommendation test, and I'm gonna just skip that because you know how I usually do with those. I really hate doing it, the recommendation and shit, because of the fact that it gets redundant, because it's the same shit over and over and over again. Like, he's always gonna do good on the test unless it's like I'm freeballing a different story, which I actually should start doing. Actually, I think the Nobis one is gonna be the first one I just say like fuck that part of fuck the UA, and just he does his own thing. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. Oh yeah, now I'm getting yeah, I'm gonna stop watching like the TV screen because she's making me livid. You don't even know how to lock on with Deadeye. They showed you that at the beginning of the fucking game. You're shooting 80 yards out with a fucking shotgun. That's 100 now. Dude, lock on with Deadeye. You don't just fire that shit. People these fucking days. Okay. Now I'm gonna continue the story because I'm getting more and more pissed off at this fucking woman. But yeah, like he takes the recommendation test and he gets in to 1A. Matter of fact, here's the thing. Matter of fact, I have a good idea for some of these now. He doesn't always have to be in 1A. Actually, now I think about it. But yeah. Matter of fact, no. This one I don't want to be in 1A. He's gonna be in 1B. And I know what people are saying. Oh, that's bullshit. He shouldn't be in 1A. He should be in 1A. When A, no. Like, as much as I want to be in 1A, I'm gonna just change the stories where it's like, he's, like, 1A and 1B, as you know, they're very close together. But the difference is the teachers. And as such, 1A is All Might really teaching them. 1B is more like they're learning more on their quirks, not on, like, the hero shit. They're doing both, basically. But 1A gets more, like, basically time and effort put into them by higher ups, while 1B is basically getting, like, little shit put into them, at least not being much paid attention to. And starts getting Deku put in there, basically opens up a whole new realm for them to be brought into the story. So, as such, when he basically goes into 1B. And mind you, I do not know much about 1B, so I'm going to be freeballing a lot here, which is more than usual. But unlike 1A, 1B has, like, they didn't have, like, the training and shit, like, at the beginning. So I'm gonna say upon being introduced to Deku or Django, they're kind of in awe of him because yes, he is from America, so he is, like, taller and more bulkier, but it's mainly the look of his hands and how, like, steady they are. I mean, they're not, how brittle they look. And Deku says, oh, my bad, I should have put on the gloves. And he puts on a pair of black gloves. And basically says, like, yeah, like, my bad, it's just my quirks. Like, this is what happens when I'm, like, after training my quirks for so many years, my hands became so rough. And yeah. And upon being introduced, he's met with Shinzo and the brainwashing quirk guy and many others in there. Big Hands, Mushroom Girl, you know. Like, I can never remember all of them. Vine Girl. Vine Girl. And I must say, the main person he gets along with isn't... He really doesn't get along with anyone but Tetsu to an extent. Because Tetsu thinks it's pretty cool that his quirk is a gun. But at the same time, he says, but you should be more physical when it comes to fighting. He says... But Deku says to him is that he is. It's just... Like, as he stated, like, I'm I'm still pretty physical. It's just I rely on guns as a primary because I can always keep someone at distance. But seeing you and how your quirk works, that wouldn't work very well. So I'd have to be able to beat you up front and at a distance. And Tetsu basically tells him like, yeah, that's true, and basically it starts laughing about it. And I'm gonna say Deku gets along with Vine Girl because, as you know, she's religious as hell, and Deku knows a bunch about religion. Ha! She's out of shotgun ammo, stupid. But yeah, she knows of like Deku knows of Western religions, but he doesn't know much. She like you can't tell me that the Western, I said Western, the Vine Girl isn't like a believes in Western religions. Like I'm telling you, she definitely has. I mean, she definitely does. You can't tell me not. Oh my fucking gosh, pick that shotgun back up. No, I don't even got time for this. I don't even got time for this. I don't even got the energy to deal with this shit. So he gets along with her on a religious standpoint because he says like her like, yeah, that's cool. Like he says, yeah, I've read like the Bible and stuff, and I believe in it. But at the same time, like I like the Old Testament better than the New Testament, just like me, because the New Testament is cool. I mean, the New Testament is like, okay, it's that and this, but the Old Testament is actually is stories basically. And basically that's his stance on religion. Like he isn't he believes that if you believe, you should believe in your own way. You don't have to go to church or any of that to prove it. And she like likes that, but she doesn't like it because she's like, you should go to church to prove it. And he says, no, anywhere can be your fucking church. And he even tells her that, like in bluntness, he says, no, anywhere can be your fucking church. Like you can pray wherever you want. It's just, like, church is like just a fucking building that people put shit in. Like, why don't you just pray in your home? You even quoted the Bible. He says he's everywhere, isn't he? And she never thought of it that way. She basically says like, no, he's right. But yeah, that's the first day basically is him meeting Tetsu and Vine Girl. And I'm gonna say the mushroom one basically like isn't. I'm gonna say she's interested, but he isn't because she notices like the way he explained his quirk is that I can like make the guns and bullets and stuff, and as such, the bullets can do whatever I give them. But I can't make them too extreme. Like I can't make them shoot fire. I can't make them shoot ice. I can choose like what they do, as he stated when he makes a western and basically, like you know how the Joker has like a revolver and shoots a flag that says "pow." He basically does that, and then like puts it back into, puts it away. I can do stuff like that. And as such, like that's the first day. And mind you, Tetsu and the religion girl, I don't know if they get along well or not, but it doesn't really matter, I'm gonna say, because Deku always was one to bring people together, even if it's in Class 1B. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, the only reason I put him in Class 1B because I like to spice things up a bit. I like to give myself a little challenge. Because if it's always 1A, 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 I'm gonna get really. Shit's gonna get really fucking stale to me. So as such, I'm gonna branch out a little bit and try to try things. So, well, being in 1B, he's met, like, Big Arm Girl was basically, like, the class president. They even agreed on it. So, I'm gonna say a week goes in, and they go to training. Because, yeah, every day they have training, but it's just, like, there's a weekly training, whereas they do certain things. I, I don't know what they do, but it's more like they focus on many different things. But in weekly training, they basically tell Deku to basically fire his guns around everyone so they can get used to the sound of it. And he basically says, like, if you want them to get used to the sound of it, you might as well have them take off the fucking earmuffs, because that's how you get used. Like, and Deku even says it to himself, I've never worn the earmuffs, and I don't really need to. And everyone thinks, like, oh, that's stupid. There's no way he shouldn't do that. But if in Deku's case, he says, like, I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, for about a year or so, and I'm still pretty good at it. And everyone looks at it, even, like, the person who can copy quirks. He basically makes fun of him and says, like, he says, like, he laughs and, like, you've only been doing it for 1 year, and, like, and basically saying, like, and you can only do that much. That's pretty pathetic. And Deku knows his quirk because of introduction. He says, you can come over and copy the quirk if you feel like it and use it. And he goes over and does it. And as such, when he fires, like, the gun, Shinso instantly, like, drops it, and he gets nowhere near the target. Like, he's off by a lot, and the gun drops and hits the ground, basically. And Deku says, see, it's not as easy as you thought, now was it? And picks up the pistol. And basically tells Shinsu to stop, and can you turn my quirk off? But not before Shinsu gets the second part of the quirk, where it's like he gets extremely livid about it and basically snaps. Basically saying, like, how the fuck do you use this damn useless ass quirk? This shit is stupid. I can't even fucking aim the pistol the right way. How does this quirk even fucking work? And, like, no one has seen Shinso snap like that. I said Shinso. It was more, I can't remember, I think his name was Mortama, or something like that. And to that, he responds with, and I quote, Deku basically tells him that it's not the quirk that makes me good at it, it's just I practice for a while. And basically, he looks at the thing and quick draws and hits the target 5 out of 6 times and says, I'm not perfect though. And then puts his pistol away. And if someone asks, like, oh, where does the other bullets go? If he misses, the bullets instantly, like, they can curve, but because he always practices, he doesn't have them curve because that's kind of cheating. Even, like, then, he didn't have them curve and hit the target because, like, that's cheating, basically, to him. Ugh. So, like, that happens, and Shinso basically sees this, and he thinks to himself, like, Shinso, wasn't Shinso in general studies? He was, so he isn't in that class. I forgot all about that. That's my bad. I thought Shinso was in class 1B because of the manga. Dude, what's taking you 5 shots and not killing the guy? Well, it took me 1 shot. But, yeah. Let's continue. I'm sorry for getting off on the small rants. It's just, like, this is the first time I've been in my fucking room while doing this shit. So I don't know how to fucking feel about this. Because I'm usually as I stated, I'm used to being in a kitchen where I don't got shit around me to look at. And just doing the story and running off of it. But this time I'm in my room when I'm doing the story. So, yeah. I might leave it off. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it off here because as much as I'll continue, I need to, like, think about this more And as such, thank you for coming by. Sorry this video was like a half an hour instead of like close to an hour. It's just, even though I took a nap, I'm tired as hell right now. It's 4:30. So I'm gonna just catch you guys in the next episode. And by the way, because of where I am this week, I'll be able to upload more. Yeah, it's the 30th. So yeah, I'll be able to upload more this week, even during the day sometimes. So yeah, I'm gonna say peace. And yeah, thank you for stopping by.